The thing about Fercho is that his color is practically the same color as NCT. So I would tell this guy, hey, I'm going to a concert the day before our date. I think I sent him a picture of NCT and it had green Neo Pearl champagne on it. I cannot pronounce that. Whatever. It had the green color of NCT on it, right? And he said, like, are you going to a Fercho concert? And I was like, no, I am not. Who is Fercho? Hello, welcome to the Trinkets Collector's Voice podcast. I'm your host, Menji. And today I'm going to talk about stuff, like a lot of stuff, actually. Officially, this is the first episode, so welcome in. I collect stuff. Throughout my life, I have collected stuff, so that's why the podcast is called the way it's called. Yeah, I don't know how to speak. I should if I'm gonna have a podcast, but that's beyond the point. But let me tell you, I have some things I've been writing down in my notes app because every time I think about something, I write it down so that whenever I record, I can talk to you about this stuff. And I'm kind of nervous because it's a little bit hard for me to talk for a long periods of time, I guess, without someone else to go off. Maybe at some point I thought it would be easier because it's just me and my thoughts. But being alone with your thoughts, isn't it like a little bit? It's a lot, but whatever. Welcome in if you're watching on YouTube. Hi. Today we are decorating my Solgi binder. So I have decided to do multiple spreads and I hope you enjoy them. They go from let me remember because I don't have them listed down or I'm not looking at them. But first, there's birthday era. There's 28 reasons. Chill kill. Cosmic. And I believe I made another one. It's not coming to mind right now. Bad boy? I think maybe just a poster, something like that. At the moment, I'm waiting on a lot of merch to come in that I had in the US. So every day, I'm waiting for a call from the people that are gonna deliver it, and the call never comes. So as I record, it's January 14th, and my shipment isn't here already. So it feels like it's been 100 years. I just think I felt it very long because there's a lot of merch I've been anticipating, so many photocards I want to share with you, and that's going to be a separate YouTube video if you're only listening to this. I also do videos on YouTube, and specifically for this podcast, I wanted to do something different. So every time I'm doing something I'm very excited about, I record myself decorating. And that way, I have a little bit of a visual so that you can have in the background while you're listening to me rant about stuff or talk about comebacks and my collections and a lot of stuff. Because I do have a lot on my mind right now. Yeah, it's 2025. I actually cannot believe that. It's kind of wild. I'm turning 30 this year. And it feels kind of unreal because I feel like mentally I'm stuck at like saying that I'm 23 years old, which is very untrue. But that's what I like. In your mind, are you just like a different age that you've just been stuck at? I don't know. I've been thinking about this a lot because maybe it's the 30s crisis. There's a lot to unwrap about that. But There's some comebacks, a debut I'm very excited about that I want to talk about, and some things I wanted to share with you because I want to talk about how I started collecting K-pop stuff specifically because there was a time in my life where I said, I'm not going to collect anything because I know myself. And yeah, I did know myself, but I did start collecting. So let's just dive in. I did share with you that there have been different eras in my life where I collect and I buy different kinds of stuff. So when I was younger, it would be spoons, markers, brats, a lot of stuff that would just go unnoticed because they were kind of trendy. I mean, the spoons were never trendy, but that's an autism topic. I have no words. So sometimes I like to talk about it, sometimes I don't. But today I'm like, I want to share about this. There was a specific time in my life where I started getting tattooed. Because if you don't know, if you've never seen me, I am kind of heavily, not heavily. It depends on your perception, I guess. For me, it's like whatever. But I know that a lot of people would think that I am heavily tattooed. So maybe I am. I have a almost complete sleeve in my left arm. I was trying to think about what arm that is. So I just kept looking at my arms and I was like, okay, what side is this? So that took me a second. Left arm, it has a lot of tattoos already. I think I just need two kind of medium ones to finish it. But if you see me out on the streets and I'm wearing a normal sleeved shirt, you'll think that it's heavily, that is complete. I don't know if that makes sense. But on that arm, I don't even know how many tattoos I have on that arm, but it's a lot. I would think. Yeah. And then I have the rest of my tattoos in my other arm. That's my right. Yes. And on my legs. And in total, I think I have 21 or 22 tattoos. But in this era, it was, when was this? I think 2022. At the beginning of 2022, I think I got my first tattoo. I keep thinking about when this time was, but I remember I've always wanted a tattoo. Like a lot of people here that might be listening are like, yeah, I've always wanted a tattoo too. Yes, I was one of those people. But then I decided, well, I want to get it done. But one thing about me is that I do have a lot of social anxiety. With the idea of COVID and stuff, I didn't leave my house that often. It's not that I leave it often nowadays either, but I would look at these artists on Instagram locally, and I would always wonder how much that is worth or something like that. Because most of the time, artists just post their stuff and you don't know the pricing per se. So I remember I kept seeing this artist on my feed and I was like, okay, I want her to tattoo me. I grabbed a little Totoro. Mm, Totoro? This Totoro sketch that I found on the internet. And I sent it to her and I was like, okay, how much would this be? Because it was a small tattoo. I can give you dimensions, but I don't know if you're gonna know because I am an architect. I do manage inches and centimeters. So I know, but sometimes when people just say measurements, I know that other people don't know references, but it was like kind of 6 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So it was a little bit small. But I was very excited because it was my first tattoo and I got it on my right leg, like just below my knee, a little bit. And it's one of the tiniest tattoos I have nowadays, actually, which is very fun. Much to think about. And then I went, and I remember being very nervous, but the tattoo artist was actually really great, and I really had a great time. I had a great time with her. I left the place, and immediately I was like, I should get another one, right? Because autism and ADHD are like, yeah, we should continue doing this, like, to the point where we're obsessed, and your brain is just like, yes, let's do all of this all the time. So I remember coming back home, and at the time, I had a partner. I used to live with him. I'm sorry, I'm having war flashbacks right now. I can't. I'm just remembering because obviously it's my ex we're talking about, right? So I just had all these memories that I had repressed for so long in my brain. Now that I talked about it, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be talking about a lot of this stuff. But the point here is that I got the tattoo, right? But I was talking to the tattoo artist while I was getting the tattoo, and she likes K-pop. She likes K-R&B a lot more than K-pop, but she knows her K-pop. So I would be talking about these artists with her, and she was like, "So do you have merch or something like that?" I don't remember. We started talking about buying, and I just blurted out because I was like, uh, I'm never gonna do this. I'm never gonna do this." Um, I blurted out, "No, no, no, no. I know myself. If I buy something, I will not be able to stop myself. But because have you seen this K-pop people collecting everything?" And she was like, "Yeah, I've seen it." And then we started talking about NCT and 17 because, of course, it's me. Those are some of my favorite groups. And have I told you what my favorite groups are? No, that I'm thinking about it. Okay, parenthesis. I love Artemis. Anything that involves Luna, I love them. Artemis, Eves, Chu, Lusambo, Odd Eye Circle, Hassel, Heejin. All of them. I love them so much. I love Red Velvet. I love aespa. I love NCT. And I love 17. End of parenthesis. So, no, wait. Add EXO to the parenthesis. There's a lot. There's a lot. I'm sorry. My brain. I remember just every time someone would ask me if I bought stuff or if I was a collector of K-pop stuff, I would say no. No, because I have an addictive personality when it comes to liking something. So, yeah. You can see where that got me. But I think I got to a point where I was going onto like my 15th tattoo that year. Like it was wild. Like in a session I would do 3 tattoos and they would be medium sized. I enjoy my tattoos. I love them all. I love them all. I cannot tell you, just I have a lot of love in my body for my tattoos. One of them is a 17 tattoo actually. If you ever want to look at them or if you're curious about my tattoos, I have a highlight on my Instagram stories. It's called My Tattoos. And you can see the posts and the artists. I think this was a really important part of my life because I started getting tattoos because I was sad. And not just like the sad that I am just in my room bored and kind of sad. No, like I started to feel depressed, like the hit of being depressed. And I remember I would tell my partner, "Hey, I feel sad." like more than normal. And he would be like, yeah, everyone feels sad. And I would be like, oh, yeah, of course. I was being silly. I cannot be sadder than other people, right? That's just like something it doesn't happen. I'm not that sad. But I was indeed depressed, and somehow my feelings weren't being recognized at the moment. And by the end of 2022, we broke up. It's something I really want to talk about on this podcast because that relationship lasted 8 years. So that's like a really big chunk of my life. That was like almost my entire 20s. The thing I want to say about this specifically is I was really sad. So, one thing that helps me kind of cope with that is buying stuff. Saying, oh, yeah, of course I deserve this because I had a very rough week. And not in the sense where it's a meme, in the sense where it's kind of a problem. And I have talked about this with my therapist. At that time, I had a really good income. So getting stuff for myself, like getting tattooed, that was a coping mechanism for me. Getting a little bit of serotonin, a little bit of a happy boost in my life. So when I was sad one of these days, I saw that someone on Instagram was selling a Felix photocard. Felix from Stray Kids. And it's so random because he's not even my bias nowadays. In Stray Kids, I like Changbin and Sungmin and Youngin. But I saw this photocard and someone was selling it in my city. And I immediately DM'd them and transferred them the money. And I was like, this is so fun. It was immediately rewarding for myself because I instantly got the photocard. I think the next day I was receiving the photocard and it was just like cute. And then I started looking through Instagram. And you know that when you're looking through Instagram, Instagram knows that you've been like eyeing something, right? So they start showing you a little bit more about that something. So that's what started happening. And then I bought some Sungkwan photocards from 17. I started getting randomly photocards. But I would be like, I don't collect them. It's just photocards, you know? They're cute. I'm just gonna have them in like a singular top loader in my not even a decorated top loader, which is like kind of a sin now that I think about it. But it was fun. It got to a point where I remember 17 was having a comeback. It was Sector 17. Everyone and their mother were buying this album. When you think of 17, what image comes to your mind? Like the Sector 17 poster, right? I would think so. So I just saw that. And I was like, I need every album version. So, of course, I bought every album version. Eventually, with time, I got them because you know that I live in Honduras. So, normally, things from Korea have to go to the US, and then they have to go from the US to someone else's addresses here in Honduras, and then they send it to me. So, that's a long time waiting. So, I would keep on buying albums and getting them and being kind of instantly rewarded because I would be getting another one, and then they would start shipping, right? So getting the pre-order benefits was really nice, especially when I got a poster. Like I know I collect photo cards, but at this point I think now that I think about it, I can say that I also collect posters and I put them up in my walls in my house. Getting posters for me is always very exciting. And this is a time where I was feeling alone. Like, just remember, I was getting tattooed. Then I went through a breakup and I started getting all of this merch. So it would be like, okay, I'm not lonely. I have something always on the way to me. Kind of that perception, right? It's not very healthy, but it's what kept me going because as any other Latino, I've had a lot of people in my life that have left the country looking for something better. So, in that way, I've been alone. I have lived on my own since 2018. And I lived with my partner for like 2 years and then I'm living alone again. I experience loneliness on the daily. And I think that K-pop really helps me out a lot, especially when I started hanging out with people with the same interests. Now, with my how can I say this in a like a cute way? I don't want my normal friends to be offended, but I have K-pop friends and I have normal friends, right? And I think that's very special because there's people who can understand me on different levels or intensities, no, areas, aspects in my life. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. But what I want to say is that I started getting all of this merch, right? Getting all of this merch. And I wouldn't collect the photo cards. I was very excited about the albums. I really like the albums, the idea of getting a lot of stuff because, as I told you in the last episode, well, it wasn't an official episode, but I told you that as a kid, I would have my tape recorder. Actually, this week, I found this photo of me with my tape recorder, and I'm gonna put it here for the YouTube um listeners, watchers. Me with a tape recorder. That was the start of me wanting to collect physical stuff for music, right? It was telenovelas, Green Day, My Chemical Romance, Good Charlotte, all of these bands. Then by this beginning of 2023, I remember I was really sad. I went to Colombia because I made the decision. Let's go back some months ago. I was recently dumped, right? And NCT 127 announced in their Instagram, "Oh hey, by the way, we're going on a world tour." Editing Menji here. I found the clip.
We never imagined we'll have a chance to visit Colombia. So how is Colombia?
We can't wait to meet our Colombian citizens. Our concert will be on January 25th in Movistar Arena with our NCT 127 tour, No City, Bogotá, the link. Please stay tuned for more information.
We are working very, very hard to make an unforgettable show for all of you guys in Bogotá. See you guys soon.
Thank you!
Hey guys, we're going to Bogota. I'm very excited. Something like that. It is so funny. But I saw that and I was like, immediately, I need to go. I need to go. I need to see NCT 127 live. It doesn't matter that I'm going alone. I said I'm going. So I bought my ticket. And then I told my mom doesn't even live in Honduras, right? She's like, wait, are you going alone? Because I remember I was like, what age was I back then? 26? 26? Wait, what? I told my mom. And she was like, well, maybe your cousin can join you. And I was like, why would my cousin go to Bogota, right? It doesn't make sense because I'm 26. And she was like, you know what? I'll pay for your cousin's trip. Just tell her, just buy the other ticket and so that you can go together. So that's what I did. She doesn't even like K-pop, y'all. She was, how old was she? I think she just turned 18 back then. And I had to get special permission from her parents and stuff to get her out of the country because you know that she's not above 21. So it was a little bit complicated, but she got it going. We had to go. Not we. I had to go. She went because of course they were giving her the trip for free. So of course it makes sense. And I think everyone in my family was like, you're very sad. Maybe you shouldn't travel on your own. And yes, I was very sad, but whatever at that point. So fast forward, it's January 2023. And I traveled to Bogotá for a week with my cousin to see NCT 127. And by that time, I had already bought my lightstick. I don't know if I got my timelines correct because I think Sector 17 came out in 2021. Let me look for this. 17. It came out in July 2022. Okay, my timelines are kind of correct. So by that time, I already had my lightstick. No, I didn't. Wait. This is so funny because, as I told you, it takes a lot of time for things to come to my country. I had just gotten into K-pop, and it would be at least 2 more months for me to get my merch, my NCT lightstick. So this concert, it was just such a mess, y'all. I even lost my phone in Colombia. I had a Tinder date. Like, okay, there's so much I wanted to talk about on this episode, and I'm hitting the 30-minute mark. At least here where I'm recording, I'm like, there's so much stuff I want to talk about. And then I'm talking about something, and I want to talk about the next thing. So, kind of want to get that controlled. So, let me tell you about the concert. That concert changed my life. The trajectory of my life was literally changed by NCT 127. Specifically, them being tourists in Bogota. I am not even lying. I'm not exaggerating. This is something I'm really thankful for in my existence. Thank you, 127, for going to Bogota, making me happy, and making me have a different outlook on stuff and experiences in my life. You know? Maybe you don't know. I don't know. I say you know a lot. That's what editing this podcast is sometimes a challenge because I think a lot about what I'm saying, and I repeat stuff a lot, specifically some words. So I cut them out sometimes, and it's kind of exhausting. So I'm trying not to do that. The thing is, I didn't have a light stick, right, by that time, but I did buy it. And it turns out that some of my family is in Colombia, and they were visiting my mom in the US. So they had my light stick in Colombia. And I would just have to go get it, right? Because that's what makes sense. Yeah, that wasn't what happened. This week was kind of weird because I got to Colombia, and of course the first thing I wanted to do was go to the museums because I really enjoy going to museums. I know that a lot of people don't enjoy museums where they go to other countries, but I actually like going and reading stuff. I really, really enjoyed that. So my cousin had to come along for that. We went shopping. I bought tennis shoes. I finished putting my outfit together because it was like kind of an inspiration of Cherry Bomb. And it's funny because now I have some friends internationally. And back then we didn't know, but I was taking photos outside of the stadium arena. I think, yeah, Movistar Arena. I was taking some photos outside, and my outfit was kind of so good that people remember me by the outfit, because a lot of people that went to NCT 127 in Colombia went to NCT Dream in Peru. And that, was it the same year? Yeah, the same year. So I'd tell people or show them my photos at that concert, and they'd be like, wait, I saw you outside the arena and your outfit was so good. So I'm really proud about my outfit. Maybe, can I insert a visual? I think editing Menji is going to be so mad at me for this, but can you insert a visual on YouTube right here? Editing Menji here. I've been looking for my concert videos and photos for hours and I haven't found it, so you're not getting one right now. Sorry. That was my outfit. Very slay. Very cherry bomb of me, okay? Like cherry bomb, cherry bomb. I think I'll never do that again. Sorry. So I finished getting stuff for my outfit right there. And every night, just like a normal human being, I would go on Tinder. I don't even. And you know why specifically at night? Because I'd be in the hotel with internet. Because at this point, I haven't told you about it, but I was in a foreign country with no internet because I am very smart. And not just any foreign country, it's still Latin America. Not very smart of me. I remember my aunts calling me every day, texting me, being like, what are you doing? Where are you? What, you know, because they would be worried about my cousin. And I'd just be like, I'll answer you when we get back to the hotel or something. And they'd be worried out. Of course, they should be worried. We're somewhere else without internet, right? But it's really funny because I tell this story and then I matched with someone on Tinder. And we're going to call this person, we should call him Rodrigo. Okay? I'm going to call him Rodrigo. We matched. He wanted to go out on a date. And I was like, yeah, but I'm not going to be here for like a long time. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. We should go out. And he says, Saturday. And I'm like, Jesus. Because one thing about me is that I'm a cheap ass bitch. And I book flights that are cheap, but at really unreasonable hours. My flight left Bogotá on Sunday at 4 a.m. So that would mean that I had to be on the airport by, I don't know, 1 a.m. If that makes sense. So the day before, we had, like, at least we had to leave for the airport at midnight. This guy is proposing going on a date with me on a Saturday. And the concert was on a Friday, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, okay, I'm going to be a little bit tired. It's going to be a little bit of a stretch of time, but I think I can do this. because I am a firm believer in my agenda. I don't know. I keep having flashbacks of my life. And okay, I did tell this guy, okay, let's meet up. And he said, okay, I'll come by your hotel. Just be ready by this time. I was like, this is kind of incredible. So he'll pick me up. So that means that I don't have to spend on taxi or whatever. That was great because I didn't have internet. So no Uber or trying to figure out the bus and I don't know how they call like the long buses in Bogotá. I forgot, but trying to figure out that transportation method was exhausting. So I was glad I didn't have to do it. But yes, I did tell this guy, yes, I'm going out with you. Did I tell him that my flight was leaving practically the next day in the morning? No, I didn't. Because why would I? I'm kind of a serial dater, and going through a breakup didn't help that because I was sad and I discovered Tinder. So I was a lot on Tinder because back in my day when I met people before dating my long relationship, there was no Tinder. I just didn't know about dating apps. So I was discovering this whole new world. But that's a story for another day. I am planning and doing all of this stuff with my cousin in Bogotá, right? And I'm having just the greatest time because I get to see 1 to 7 and the day arrives. It's Friday. I think it was a Friday. I'll say that it's Friday, okay? So that we have a clear timeline on this. And I would keep texting this guy. And it's very funny because if you're from Latin America, you probably know about Fercho. Fercho is a reggaeton artist from Medellin, Colombia. And the thing about Fercho is that his color is practically the same color as NCT. So I would tell this guy, Rodrigo, hey, I'm going to a concert the day before our date. I think I sent him a picture of NCT and it had green Neo Pearl champagne on it. I cannot pronounce that. Whatever. It had the green color of NCT on it, right? And he said like, are you going to a Fercho concert? And I was like, no, I am not. Who is Fercho? And it was a really funny thing in my life because Fercho is so big. I am a big Fercho lover nowadays. I have to say that because of this guy, I got to know Fercho. And then Fercho toured and came to my city in Honduras, Tegucigalpa. And it was really one of the best times in my life. But that's in like the future. It's the past for me right now, but it was the future from this story. I'm telling you this story. It was Friday. And the funny thing about this, there's a lot of funny things about this day because buying the tickets, I don't know why it was such a hassle, but buying the tickets from this place for this concert was such a pain in the ass because they wouldn't take my credit cards or debit cards. And it had to be like a Colombian credit card or something like that. It was such a pain in the ass that I couldn't use my cards or my uncle's cards or my mom's cards or my aunt's cards. It had to be a friend of my aunt that lived in Medellin. But keep in mind that the concert is in Bogotá. So this guy does the favor and buys us the tickets. And very specific thing about this site that was hosting the NCT 127 concert is that you have to get a lot of documents for them to prove that you're the owner of the credit card when you buy this stuff. And if you're not, you have to like you need a lot of stuff, right? And I had all of my copies and everything, and I went out at like 11 a.m. with my cousin out of the hotel to the Movistar Arena because I was like, okay, I need to do this with anticipation because I have anxiety. I need to do stuff before of the times. Because if I were a normal person, I would have done this at like 4 p.m., which would have been horrible. But my point is, I did this at 11 a.m. I went, remember, I don't have internet. So we went on an Uber to the Movistar Arena. And then they tell me, you're missing a document. And I'd be like, no, I'm not. Because if there's one thing about me is that I check everything twice, 3 times, 4 times, even 10 times. Because I have anxiety. So I need to make sure that everything is chill, that everything is good. And the lady kept saying that I was missing a document that wasn't listed on the website. And I'd be like, you're joking. It's not on the website. And she's like, yes, it is. And I'd be like, no. And she's like, can you prove it? And I'm like, no, because I don't have internet in my phone. But that's beyond the point. So I'd be like, okay, we got to go back to the hotel, ask for this documentation from this guy that I really don't know so that I can give it to this person so that they can give us our tickets. I went back to the hotel. I did that. I got changed. And by this time, I think it was like 2 p.m. So we go back to the Movistar Arena. And then we had to go through the line of people again. And then I go back to the lady. Hey, here's the documents. And she's like, okay, but you need a copy of this. And I'm like, what do you mean? You could have told me this on the first try because it was a document that I already had. But she wanted a 3rd copy of it. This is not, like, the method is not mathing, lady. I was very mad. It took me forever to be like, in my mind, to be like, okay, I have to do this. And she's like, okay, you need to get a copy of it. And understanding this, I just asked her, so where's the, how do I say this in English? Like the copy center or somewhere with a printer or whatever that I can do this? And she's like, it's like 11 blocks down. And I was like, great. But fortunately, there were some people that were walking towards that place too, because they also needed a copy because this lady is just a pain in the fucking ass. But that's beyond what I'm trying to say. I think. We start going now. And remember, I'm in my outfit already. And my outfit is like a leather jacket. And my pants are like chrome. I don't know. They're like pink, but they're kind of metallic. So they kind of reflect this. And the thing is, I was very hot underneath. The weather's really nice. But I was going down 11 blocks under the sun in my outfit. So of course I started sweating. We got to the copy place. And I was like, can you help me out with this? But the thing is, I don't know if it was a copy. They needed something from my email. And remember, I don't have internet. So I can't go into my email. So that was great. And then I was trying to pull that up. And I don't feel my phone in my pocket. I'm like, oh, Daniela. Daniela's my cousin. Hey, I think I lost my phone. And she's like, are you kidding? And I was like, no, I'm not kidding. We had to borrow internet from these people. I had to log in to my account from my cousin's phone to get the document. I don't know. It was a lot, y'all. we got the document, we got a copy of the other one. It was just, I was just like, this lady's just a pain in the ass, and I think I lost my phone, and I'm just so pissed at this point. So we walk back to the arena, and then I go back, get into line, and get back to the lady. Okay, I have your documents. It's just like, this is not okay, but I'm gonna give it to you. I was like, what the do you mean? I'm giving you all of the documents you told me to bring. Like, literally all of them. I was so mad. But on the inside, I was like, can you please just give us our shit? And then she gives us our tickets, and I have to sign some stuff. And then I ask her, hey, have you seen my phone? And she's like, yeah, is it this one? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. Because just imagine me walking down up 11 blocks just thinking I lost my phone in a foreign country just before the concert. It was just gonna be like another kind of experience that I had to live through, I guess. But okay, that didn't happen. We got our tickets, so we just stay there, and it was 5 p.m. and at 7 I had to meet up with my 2 family members because they had my lightstick. I told them, hey, I don't have internet. Can we meet up somewhere at some time? And the lady was like, yes, of course. We can meet up at gate 6. I don't know. I don't remember the gate. At 7 p.m. And I was like, great, amazing, thank you. Flash forward, it was 7 p.m. at this gate. There was no one. I've never seen this lady in my entire life. Like, yes, we're family, but it's like they are direct family of my stepfather that I have only seen like 3 times in my entire life. So I've never seen these people, and the only photo I have of them is one that my mother sent to me, and it was like a group shot, and it was all pixelated. So I was just practically looking for anyone in the crowd. An hour had passed, and the concert was going to start already, and I was like, okay, I think I just didn't get my light stick. So I just started asking people, hey, can you lend me your phone to make a call? Because I didn't know what to do at that point. And someone very kindly lent me their phone to make this call. And I'd be like, hey, lady, where are you? I'm here at the spot we said we were going to meet at that like an hour ago. And the lady goes, oh yeah, we're in already. Do you know how mad that made me? I just wanted to laugh at that moment. And she tells me where they are, right? And then I go to them and I get my light stick. But at this point, I was like, I've been through so much in this entire day that I just want to see my beloved 127. And that's what we did. I screamed so much. I enjoyed that concert so much. It was one of the best experiences of my life, as I told you, and I'm very happy about it. And after that, I think life was chill because from the hotel, there were several people that were also going to the concert. So we kind of rented a bus so that it could take us back to the hotel. So that was chill. Losing my phone for a bit and going through all of this frustration before the concert was just not fun at all. But I think it's just something I had to live through. The next day, remember, I'm leaving on Sunday and now it's Saturday. And we continue going around the city with my cousin, and then we get to the hotel by like 5 p.m. And my cousin is like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. No, not to bed. Like, she had something, church stuff. She's very into church. and stuff. So she had to do something online, and I was like, okay, I guess. I just tell her, hey, I'm going out, and I'm gonna come before we leave for the airport. So yeah. And I remember the look on her face. She really was just looking back at me like, what the fuck are you saying right now? But she doesn't even curse, but I just saw that. I just saw that in her face, right? So it was really funny to me. And I was like, yeah, I have a date. So I just went downstairs and waited for this guy that I've never seen in my entire life, and I met through Tinder, and I have no internet. So if this really went bad, my cousin would have been the first to know, because we had to leave the country like in some hours. But yeah, we went out on a date. This guy, Rodrigo, he takes me around the city in his motorcycle. We go out to eat salchipapas, which were really nice. I really liked them. And we go around in Bogotá. And it was like 11 p.m. at this point. And I was just having such a good time. Such a good time. Very nice time. And then he's like, I could have taken you clubbing or something, but you have your flight in a couple hours. And I was like, yeah, like it was very sad. But it was really nice because we also got to like, here in Honduras, we call them like pulperia. But I think that in Colombia, that was a little bit fancier. So it was just like a store with a lot of groceries in it. So I tried beer from Colombia and chocolate, which was really nice. And we were just talking about our cultures and different stuff. And it was just a really nice time. And we walked around a park also that this just amazes me, because we're from the same third world aspect. I don't know. Place in the world. I don't know. Whatever. I don't know if that makes sense. But our countries are very, very different. And for me, just going out and walking outside in a park without the thought of me going missing or something worse, something I've never thought about. So it was a really happy moment for me, because even though it was Colombia, I still had a little bit more freedom to do stuff at night in different places. It was really nice. I don't know. I don't have the words or thoughts to express this feeling, but it was something. Since I told him that I had to go back to my hotel because I was leaving, he took me back to the hotel and we had to say goodbye. But it was like a little bit too hard because the conversation was just getting really good. You know, like by that time, we were like, oh, we're gamers. We should play online together. Like when I go back and, you know, we should hang out more. And we did. For a while, we did. He was a really nice guy. And it just stamps into my brain as one of the best weeks of my life, because I had such a good time. And I went back to the hotel, and when I went back to the room where we're in, my cousin was just like looking at me like, you came back? I think she was just expecting me to come back dead or something, or just like not come back. Coming back dead would be, well, you know, she just wasn't expecting me to go back. She kind of had accepted her fate of, I don't know, booking a flight back to Honduras on her own or something. Really wild, though. We came back. Nothing else I can say. That concert changed my life. It made me change my bias also, because my bias for a long time had been Taeyong and Haechan. But when I saw Jungwoo in person, I can tell you, I am a different person. He changed my life. I've never seen a man that sexy, that just wonderful. Yeah. yeah, again, no words. So this is how I got my first lightstick. I went to my first concert and I got my first pieces of merch. I wanted to talk about so much more in this episode, but I am hitting the 1 hour mark. And I think I should be getting into a segment I would like to have different episodes, and it's comebacks and debuts and things just noteworthy that I want to recommend to you. And right now, I've been listening to Rebel Heart by Ive. It just came out. It's really good. It's really nice. I recommend it. Also, boycott Hype, but there's always people on Twitter who upload the Google Drives for people under Hype. So this is how I recommend you to listen to these that I'm going to tell you. So 17's BSS Busoksoon came back with Telepathy. I don't know what the Korean name is, but it's really good. It's really nice. It's really upbeat and very up my alley. So, of course, I'm gonna recommend it to you because I love 17. I also love Boy Next Door, and they released a song called I Love You, and it's really so nice. It's bubbly. Boy Next Door is just like one of my favorite groups from this new generation. 5th generation? Is that it? I don't know. I don't know about generations. I am a person that listens a lot to music. I kind of watch videos, and then I don't know a lot about gossip in K-pop. Those are the songs or EPs, mini albums that I recommend in a debut that I am really into right now. It's called I'm a Bee from X Love. XLOV. And they are a new group, 4-member group under a very small company, but their concept is genderless and kind of sexy, and I'm very into it. And the choreography is just wild. If you've never seen this, I'm gonna insert a clip over here of one of the members doing like a flip. It's just, it blows my mind. So those are my recommendations for now. Thank you for listening to my episode today and watching me decorate on YouTube. I am coming back in 2 more weeks. This is a bi-weekly podcast. I'm going to be here every 15 days or so. I would like to have music to tell, like, the Trinket Collector's Voice podcast. You know, that would be nice. Not that sound, but a sound would be nice. I don't know. Sometimes it's funny. And something non-K-pop that I want to recommend is Bad Bunny's new album, Debí tomar más fotos, which translates to I should have taken more pictures. It's really good. It has a lot of representation from the Latino community, specifically for Puerto Ricanos. And it's just an album that makes me very happy because Bad Bunny is just an incredible artist and I treasure him a lot. I wish I can go to one of his concerts someday. I also game. I do stuff. Follow me on YouTube as Menjisoul, MENJISEUL. I'm kind of getting better at spelling my username. I'm all over the place on Instagram, I kind of think I'm going back to Twitter. I am on TikTok. I am on all the places. So look for me and you're gonna find me. My accounts are really for everyone that enjoys cute stuff and K-pop. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.